Hello, hello. Welcome to Close Red with Elise and Eugene. Oh my goodness. Eugene's making gestures at me already, and this is just the beginning. If this is your first time listening to us, welcome. We are two English majors, English graduates,
Wow.
BAs.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, who are trying to use our degrees in a productive way. So what are we talking about today, Eugene?
So, today we'll be talking about a very fun topic, performativity and authenticity, and how the two play into each other or differentiate themselves. This should be fun.
Yeah.
So, I guess, I don't know. The first thing we have to talk about is what is performativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're really bringing the analysis fire here.
For sure.
Peyton, if you're listening, you better listen, bitch. You've inspired so much of this, and yet you don't even listen.
Fake.
But
performativity,
so,
what is it?
I did some casual research. You know, you open up Google, you type away at the keys a little
Definition, performativity.
I was like, define performativity. But I looked up Judith Butler, who, those of you don't know, she's like a very big name in intersectional feminism. And she kind of made gender as a performance like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And her whole thing, and I quote, is that gender is performative means that there can be no gender identity before the gendered acts, because the acts are continuously constituting the identity. So the action that you put in is performative, and it produces a series of effects that relate back to you and kind of consolidate your identity. So, do we think gender is a construct / is performed? Do you agree with her general statement? I mean, like, you know, she's only the biggest name in academia.
I'm like, no, I disagree.
You're like, she's full of shit. I mean, you can have an opinion.
No, I think she's right.
You think she's right?
Yeah. We've seen
How
enough
so?
people. We've seen enough people that have
Perform.
grown up, performing one identity and feeling another way.
Well, you're gonna have to give examples, man. That's what your degree was for.
The entire
You're like,
trans
here's my
community.
Oh, trans people? I'm like,
they exist.
they're a thing? I thought the only people who existed were people who conformed to heteronormative standards. Anyways.
Wow. No, that's not true.
As a Christian, that's false. So I think we can both agree that performance is a thing when it comes to gender. Do you think performance is something that can relate to other aspects of our lives or identity? Like, is this something that we do on a constant?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
Really? Okay, so like in what ways?
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm pretty performative in my own gender,
Well,
I would say.
How so?
Oh, I don't want to talk about it, but I do.
You have to. The people come to us. Like, what is this? Oh, by the way, we should have probably mentioned this in the beginning. This is our second episode, but this is the first episode in our new series called Some Thots.
Oh, yeah, this is Some Thots.
Some Thots. And that's thoughts as in THOTS, so get with the program.
Yes.
Where we just, reveal our hot takes. Our tea, we spill the tea, we snatch some wigs, we're stealing all the African-American vernacular today, and we're using it. So,
well, I think...
Spill your tea on yourself.
I don't know how true this is, but I feel like part of the reason we decided to talk about this was
we're going there
in relation
Uh-huh.
to some events that occurred in my life.
Oh, pray, please tell.
I went on a date recently.
Ooh, she went on a date.
It wasn't that great. Don't get excited. We've talked about this nauseum, but
Yeah,
We-
specifically over alcohol.
Yes,
but
we've realized together, you've helped me
as
realize
one.
how much I perform like
Yeah.
this, like, female role.
You're disgusting. To say the least.
When I, like, meet these men that I go on dates with.
Okay, first of all,
I'm very, like,
I've already roasted
what's the
you
word,
enough
like,
about this.
I don't want to say subservient because that's creepy. What's the other word for it? Where you just, like...
You defer to them, I guess?
Yeah.
That's basically what subservient
Yeah, I
means.
know.
You're like, that's creepy. I'm like, it's what you do. I don't think you're subservient to. I think that's a little extreme.
Yes.
I think
what I'm
you
saying.
tend to defer to them in terms of, like, decision making as to, like, where you're going to go, like how much effort you're putting in versus how much effort they're putting in. Although he did drive you back, so this time around
That's true.
it worked out.
Anyway, like, it was fine, like, whatever, I lived, but
You made
there was a
several
lot of
mistakes.
mistakes I made just because I was trying to, like, I guess, play this role of someone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was very strange because, like, you have a huge fear of, like, men like killing you or raping you, which is, like, totally valid to, like, as a woman in this
but I
world.
feel like it's...
But then that just went all out the window with this dude who, you just randomly met.
I think, okay, well, I think I don't want to talk about this so much, but, like, I think part of it is performativity and part of it is just, like, natural, like, fear. Like, I'm not going to say no to things.
He's like, let's go back to my place where I could potentially drug you and kill you. You're like, yeah.
So I think it's
like playing into
healthy,
your fear, but you're letting it happen.
It's a healthy mix.
I don't know if that's
a mix
healthy,
of no. A mix. I know it's not healthy. A mix of, like, I'm scared, but also I perform. So I perform.
Yes, you do perform a lot. Okay, but, like, for example, I don't know why I said for example. So, like, if we are talking about how you're performing to, like, specifically on these
not
dates
being
and
my
stuff.
authentic self.
Yes, but also, like, what do you think you're performing? Like, what kind of image are you trying to meet up with or something?
Ew, this is too therapeutic.
Well, you know what they say. If you can't afford therapy because you don't have health insurance
then
anymore,
podcast.
Then start a podcast. And share your thoughts with others.
I mean, it's definitely trying to be someone that I think that they are going to like more.
But isn't that, like, counter?
Which I think is just
productive?
Yes.
Because then they don't get to know you for who you are.
I know this. But it's like a defense mechanism. Performativity for me.
You think that by performing this role, they're not going to, like, attack you or dislike you or turn you down?
Yeah. It's because, like, the authentic self is so scary. You're like, I don't want people to know actually
who I am,
how shitty I am. So you have to put on, like...
Okay.
Isn't that just how dating is, though?
Well, then...
I mean, not that it should be like that. I think people do that.
Okay. So, like, you've noticed yourself performing quite a lot on dates. Are there, like, any other kind of instances where you've performed, but differently maybe so? Or even in the same way? Same vein?
I mean, I think I do it with most people that I meet for the first time.
Oh, interesting.
And for, like, a long time until I'm comfortable enough.
And then you drop the bomb when you're like, here's my personality, and then you, like, stop
and then you're
them.
like, good luck.
You're like, this is a decision you made. And everyone's like, but you bamboozled me.
Exactly.
That's not fair to them.
It's not.
So, do you... Like, how long does it take to be your authentic self then in front of someone?
Well, I think, like, with us, it took, like, a good 4 years.
What? It didn't take 4 years.
I think so.
It really took 4 years for you to start showing your true thoughts?
Yes.
Then why the hell were we hanging out? Oh, like, listeners, we're in it now. We're in it now. So, what were the 4 years, this inauthentic friendship?
It wasn't inauthentic friendship. It was just me not, like, being I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that I would never say.
I mean, I knew that. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, just say it. And you'd be like, no. And I'm like, why? Okay.
It's
Why did it take you 4 years to become comfortable enough to share your authentic self?
because I don't know you. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You knew exactly
after,
who
like,
I
a
was
year.
like a year.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think
I'm
it
just
could
not
have
used
been...
to it. I just was never used to like talking to people so much about myself. So.
Huh. Do you think it could have been like the people that I was surrounded by? It could be.
Oh shit.
If we're really going down the authentic route, like we have to be authentically aware that some of the people we're hanging with were...
I think maybe that
not
could have
the
been a part
best.
of it. Because
They
I was
were
like,
awful.
I mean, you're kind of like this too, I'm sure. Like, where you don't want to share yourself so much with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we only have so much of ourselves to give.
Yeah, so I think like I was just extremely particular
Huh.
back
Do you
in the
think
day.
You are more open to being authentic nowadays?
Yes, because it's like an active effort.
Ooh, you're
I'm
like
like,
actively trying.
yeah.
So, here's where I'm like, oh, I'm whipping out my degree and we're like really dissecting this. Could you say that you are trying to perform authenticity right now?
Yes.
So, if you are performing authenticity, is there such a thing as a true authentic self? Because
Okay.
you're still performing it.
Performing is a strong word. I think it's to try harder to be myself isn't like, it's like, I guess it's performing, but it's also just something I'm not used to. It's more like exercising a muscle that I
But
haven't.
what if? Because, like, remember,
utilized.
Judith Butler's theory is that, like, you don't actually have an identity or anything that defines it until you start performing things.
Mm.
So, do we actually have an authentic self that is at our core, or do we perform actions and then think to ourselves, this feels more comfortable in line with us, and that's why we think this is our authentic self? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I don't even
But
have
that's
an
a
answer.
weird thing to like. What do
I
you mean
know.
at my like? What do you mean like at
I don't
a
know.
core?
Like, because at some point our brains are like, oh, I did this thing and this thing feels more like me than this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, you playing a nerdy ass game in a card shop versus like you playing football. Like, I can never see you playing football. So like, or like soccer. But let's say you were doing it, right? And then like at some point your brain has to be like, this one thing is more me than the other. And so you start performing it and it reflects back onto you somehow. But do you think...
if that initial like this is more like me than that, isn't that your like
I
authentic
suppose.
self?
I don't know. I don't have any answers.
The decision that you make
I'm
there.
asking questions.
I know, but well, I'm asking you questions.
I don't like it when the tables turn here.
That moment where you're like, this is more like me than this,
Yeah.
isn't that your authentic self?
But how do we know that? How do we determine that for ourselves? I don't know. At one point, did I come to the realization that I am this way or that, you know?
Yes.
Not to, okay, we're just going to be dropping random cultural stuff in here now.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, not to quote IU, who is the most amazing artist from Korea, God bless. But she has a song called Palette where she talks about realizing that she likes certain things and she dislikes certain things.
Uh-huh.
And in the chorus, she says something along the lines of, like, oh, I found myself and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
But that she released that album and that song at the age of 25, you know? So she, not to like shit on Taylor Swift, but was quite cognizant of things at an earlier age than like the song Me at the age of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it takes us that long to like really figure out who we are?
I mean, I guess it can if you're like performing for so long.
Jeez. I think maybe it's just like a common occurrence because like anytime you ask someone older, they always describe until like the halfway point in the 20s or even 30s that like people don't really know themselves. They're still figuring things out.
Yeah.
So do
definitely.
do you feel like we've achieved a space or like a place in our narrative where we're like fully realized people?
No. And I mean, I think most people would agree that like you're never going to be fully realized.
Then what's the fucking point?
Well, I think it's important that we at least like try to find out things about ourselves.
What if we try so hard and get so far?
Yeah.
And in the end, it doesn't even matter.
And that's rough.
Anyways, Green New Deal, pass it. We need a future to be realized in. Because otherwise, we might as well just be animals.
But the thing is, we're not going to be, like, fully realized ever. So, like, there's no even...
That kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Does it? Because when you're if you became fully realized, then what do? You just exist?
As your perfect self and just, like, enjoy life.
That's never going to happen.
I know it's an unrealistic ideal, but I still want it.
But that's, like, the point is that we're, like, pushing towards that.
Ugh, my God. How much more energy and time must we invest into developing ourselves?
You gotta love yourself first.
Why can't we stagnate? Also,
we should stagnate.
We should,
you know what?
We should
Fuck
be stagnant.
it. We should stagnate.
We should stagnate. Stagnant is the
new.
Yeah.
Love yourself.
I'm like stagnant 2020. You love yourself so much, you're willing to accept all your flaws and your lack of potential and just freeze it all there. Just like, that's it. That's who you are. Dude, we're literally describing everyone who stays in Santa Clarita and doesn't go out.
Us.
But we're different because we had like a collegiate experience and now we're trying to leave.
Oh, shit.
The other people, they just stay.
Okay, wait. Going back to this topic. Yeah. How do you feel like you perform in your life?
Oh, so like I have to answer the questions?
Yes, because I said some stupid embarrassing shit right now.
No, you didn't. Everyone who's gotten on a date, minus everyone who's like a virgin on this. And by virgin, I mean like dating virgin. Like if, you know...
Eugene, just go
Listen,
on.
let me have my Broad City moment where I'm like, if you're not cool with that, like, we respect it. We laughed really hard at it, but you know what? Anyways.
How do you perform?
I don't think I perform nowadays as much. I think when I was in high school and maybe like starting college, I was performing quite often. But I think that was largely because I just didn't know... Okay, I actually don't think it was like I didn't know who I was. I think I knew who I was. But I think I had conflated certain aspects of me as being all of me. Or felt the pressure to show certain sides of me more than others.
Oh, I feel the same way.
So I think that is what pushes the performance aspect and makes me play a role and then come home like utterly socially exhausted, like my battery. Because lately, like, I do get tired, you know, when I like socialize and stuff. Because like I don't know, I guess I'm an extrovert, but I still get tired in situations. But I don't get as tired anymore because I realize that if I'm just my authentic self with people, I'm not socially drained. So I can keep meeting up with people and keep having social interactions and not feel drained. Yeah. But if I have to play a role, I feel utterly exhausted afterwards. And that's when I would like go into my room and like shut the door or something. So like with a certain friend group of mine, who I'm no longer as close with anymore, I felt like so compelled almost, or like forced to having to be like always upbeat and like loud and energetic and stuff. And I think like a lot of people, once they get to know me, they know I can be loud and excited about things, but they also know that I'm like, I have the soul of like an ancient tree in a forest, and it just is immovable, doesn't want to do anything, like gets irritated by loud noises and young people and like
very crotchety.
Yes, how dare you? I just said yes to that. I was like,
you were like, yes,
but fuck you. It's literally like the spirit of Carl from Up. You know, it's like he just like someone steps on his lawn and he's like busting out the shotgun and like filing a complaint with the city. Like that still exists within me alongside this whole other stuff. So I would much prefer going to like a coffee shop or a bar rather than a club, because when I go to a club, it's like so chaotic and energetic, and I hate that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess in instances like that, I think nowadays though, I just like say what I want, say how I feel, because that's how you set boundaries and stuff. And honestly, like boundaries are important.
In Jesus' name, amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. And I feel Jesus in this room tonight.
No,
I
do find that pretty admirable about you, because I do see like you are like the same with everybody you talk to.
Thank you.
And I don't feel like I'm that way.
Yeah, I don't think you are either. Not to be like scalping you.
No, it's just like, I don't know.
I'm like, let me rip out a few of your hair follicles. But like, that's the thing though, is that like when it's just you and me like hanging out, like when we did our road trip up to Sacramento and San Francisco recently, you were just kind of like yourself the entire time. And so like I feel like, yeah, you would get tired and stuff, but you would still be able to like do things and invest yourselves into like but then you like go on a random date with some stranger, and I like I was watching you through the gate. Remember, I had to like let you back in through the gate into our neighborhood, and I saw you like say goodbye to him or something like through the car door, and you were like giggling and laughing, and I was like, who the fuck is that? I was like, I don't know myself. This bitch.
I don't either.
It's like, who is that?
I don't know either.
You're like, I don't know her either. It's like yourself. Okay, no, but like, why? Like, who is that? Where did she come from? She must be a part of you, right? Because, okay, to quote Jenny Slate from a great interview she did, I think she might have been drunk, I'm not sure. But, like, she was like, people always tell you, like, be yourself. She's like, I don't even know who that is. Like, I have, like, 20 selves. And
damn.
A lot of people were like, oh, I agree with this. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I'm pretty confident.
I have, like 20 selves.
So, like, do you think maybe you aren't performing her. Maybe she is a part of you.
I don't like that, though. So I don't think it's...
Well, okay, just because you don't like a part of who you are doesn't mean it's not authentically
I know. Oh, I don't think it is. I think it's just nervousness and, like, general fear. Because
I feel like, you know, you being the, like, romantic at heart that you are, if you were, like, really invested in someone's, you know, like, handsome or, like, beautiful to look at and, like, great personality, you would turn into, like, a giggling, like, fucking dumb bitch.
Apparently.
I can see it happening. Remember Janice said she... Oh, not to name drop, sorry.
Hey, Janice.
Hey, Janice. But remember, Janice said she wouldn't, and if she had those rosy glasses on for a while... Dude, we're totally scalping her.
Janice.
Don't share the link to this episode with her.
Janice, I love you.
We love you.
I guess
but
everybody gets like that. We also know that
you got a little dumb.
No.
But you know what? That's just love.
That's love.
That's love. And it's fucking gross.
Anyway... Let's not talk about that.
I think, see, that's performance. That's performances. Like, we're always, like, judging other people and being like, we're not going to be like that. But then we are like that. Or maybe we're not. I wouldn't know. But maybe you are like that.
Maybe I'm like that. Ew.
I can see it because, like, when we go to new places and stuff, you get super giggly and, like, you know, and, like, it happens. And I'm like, I don't know this bitch, but she's fake. But that's because maybe fake. You just show a different aspect of yourself to me because, like, you're not as nervous or creeped out or whatever.
I don't know. I think it's fake.
Do you think it's fake?
Yes.
You think that's... Ow, I just scratched my face.
You're like attacking yourself.
Like, I was going to say something. My hand is like, shut up.
Therapy. Maybe we shouldn't go into this.
What do you mean? Well, okay. Why do you think it's fake, though?
I don't know.
I mean, okay, listen. If it helps you feel better about it, just intellectualize it. That's what college was about. Okay. You're not allowed to have emotions.
I feel like... I don't know.
What?
I don't know. It just doesn't...
It just doesn't feel like you.
It doesn't feel like me, and it's why I don't enjoy, like... most of my interactions is because I'm like, who was that? And like, and then I feel like I have to keep that up after a while. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Because you've already established it. That's a really good point. I think that's why when I just meet someone, I just act normal. Because I'm still nervous about it. But it's like if I establish a different first impression, I have to play that up constantly. Exactly. And that's tiring as fuck. Exactly. I ain't got no energy for that. I'm trying to, like, do something with my life here.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know, like, none of the people that I have seen I like ever want to see again? Because I'm just like,
Fuck.
I don't like, I'm not who I really am with those people. Like, I didn't start off who I really am.
Is that
so why
their
would I
fault,
keep?
Though?
No, it's definitely not. It's all mine. But it's just like now I'm like, ew, I can't even be myself anymore because I already started off on the wrong foot.
Well, it's kind of like, it sounds kind of like self-sabotage at this point. You can't just laugh it away. Well, okay, so
See,
like...
I laugh a lot. I laugh because I'm nervous. That's why I laugh.
Because you were nervous?
Yes.
Why? Because I was exposing your truth?
It's just, it's a thing. It's not necessarily like...
Dude,
excitement or happiness.
Your nervous reaction is so different from mine. Because you can tell if I'm nervous because I'm like, I'm nervous. I'll just like say it. Or my hands will ring or something. I'll just like constantly obsess over something. But you just laugh.
I'm a nervous
You're like a giggler.
Laugher.
Dude, what the hell?
And it's not good because then it seems like,
you're like flirting with them.
Flirting, and I'm like, really? Like I want to kill myself.
I'm like,
sorry,
airhead.
I wasn't supposed to say that.
I know. Trigger warning.
Anyway, I don't like that.
You're
about me,
dude. We should. I mean, like our first episode had a lot of KMS in it too, but we only said KMS.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, I won't say anymore. But anyway,
me chastising you. I'm like, use KMS only.
Yeah. So. In those situations with new people, I am not my authentic self, which is the absolute wrong way to go about anything.
So how are you going to like remedy that? Like, how do you act more authentically then with these new people that you're meeting? You're gonna have to do it at some point because
and I don't know the answer.
Like you gotta get laid, you know? Like you're not gonna get laid, or I mean you can't get laid being fake and giggly.
Yeah.
But once you start crying, you'll be like, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "Actually, I'm a Christian and I can't do this."
I don't know.
Explain.
I don't know the remedy. I don't know yet. I am not a fully actually realized human being yet. Okay, so I don't know the answer.
At a certain point, you're gonna have to realize, you know, Kylie Jenner realized certain parts about yourself. We've had 2 years of realizing. We're on to our 3rd or 4th? I don't even remember when it started, but it's been a few years, right?
I'm like,
realizing.
Yeah. I'm not going to put so much like. I don't know.
Effort?
Pressure. No, like I'm not gonna like chastise myself too much just because like I only started dating people this year. So like I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything. And I'm going to continue to know nothing for a long time.
Can you ever know something like that? People are so different, you know. The whole but that's nature what I'm saying. Like
I don't know. Tenuous. I don't even know who I am. Like exactly. I don't know myself in those situations.
I think that's the worst thing to realize in life is that no matter how much learning and how much growth you have, there's like an infinite amount more that you will never accomplish. Yeah. And that's a realization that I think a lot of people authentically have, and then they just have like a life crisis, and you just like learn to deal with it, or you KMS, but. Hopefully it's the first option.
Yeah. I'm learning to deal with it.
I mean,
the fact that I can like recognize these things in myself, I think is a really good.
It's the first step.
Yeah.
Because some people don't realize ever in their lives, and you're like, wow.
So small wins.
Small wins are what are they? They're claimed by losers because you don't have big wins.
Small wins.
Well. Yeah. As someone who is authentically
I feel like can't relate.
I know. Well, I don't know. I can relate because I don't know. For the longest time, I thought I had to be like, oh my god, like woo, and like so much fun. I'm like I can do anything. I'm like I'm an introvert, but I'm also an extrovert, and blah blah blah. You know, I was quite adaptable. I think that's like something air signs, woo. But it's like. I don't know. I think a lot of times people would just assume that I'd be like ready to go party or like I could just do these things, you know? Right. And then they would like hit a wall with it where I'd be like, I cannot do that right now. And then their opinion of me would change or something. And there was like a lot of those instances. I don't think I do any of that now, but Also, we like say that I'm always authentic, but maybe I'm performing too.
That's true.
Some idea
but the
of
thing
authenticity.
my thing is that you are always the same person with everybody. So
I
feel like
100% of the time.
That's impossible. Like if you're
I think
completely
I'd be exhausted.
performing, like you can't be the same person with everyone.
I can't.
I mean, maybe if you're like.
Maybe I'm like, I think this trait is who I am, so I'm going to perform this trait despite it not being who I am. Like writing. Sorry, that was a self-drag.
I think, yeah.
You think I'm 100% authentic, usually?
Usually.
Close to 100?
Like, how would I know? 100? Like, I would never know.
That's true. But it's because I'm also like, I don't know.
Yeah. But it's just like when you meet new people and stuff. Like when we went to the game store, I felt like you were very much yourself.
Yeah, I was very nervous there, though. Mm-hmm. Could you tell? I was like,
yeah,
I don't really know what's going on. And
yeah, but I think that's valid.
I was also
but it didn't like stop you from like, show.
I was like, what is going on?
But it didn't stop you from like making your little like joke, your little magic jokes and shit.
Did I make jokes? Oh, when I was like, attack him.
Yeah, you were just like, you were still like, it was as if you were playing with like your other friends.
It was really fun though because of that.
Yeah.
I guess I mean I was actively trying though in that instance, so I definitely get not the impression, the desire to like withdraw a little of yourself. I'm trying to work on that. I've been working on it. That's probably why I've come to the point that I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just tiring. Just be yourself. But first you have to know who yourself is.
Yes.
Wow. That was meta.
That's always the difficult part.
Yeah. To quote IU, like, learn it, bitch. She didn't say that. But you should know who you are. Mm-hmm. Do you think people walk around this world actively thinking about their sense of self? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think it's like a very small group of people. Maybe not as small as I'm thinking it is, but...
I'm sure maybe some people have, like, fleeting thoughts, but it's like... Maybe they just don't have, like, enough time to, like...
I can
really
see that, yeah.
think about it.
Well, who is having this kind of like intellectual discussion on the sense of self and performativity when like they have children to feed?
Yeah, exactly.
Like bills to pay. We're stuck in the weird limbo sense. Mm-hmm. Well, also we want to be creators, and so we're always going to be talking about some kind of human condition.
Yeah. I think people do. They're just, it's like a different way they think about it.
They're just like, oh, I like this, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, the funny thing is, I do feel like the building blocks of, like, learning who you are starts very simply, and it's usually just, like, do I like this? Mm-hmm. Or do I dislike that? Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of introspective discussion or discourse in the beginning. I think we start very small.
Yes. Damn.
Yeah. I think, because, well, even... in IU's song Palette. I love you, IU. Anyways, but even in that, she starts, sponsor us. Like, she would never know us. Like, first of all, different language. Secondly, across the world. And third, small-time creator.
She's, like, an absolute star.
I know. So, well, because, like, even in her song, like, her lines leading up to the chorus are very much like, I like this over that. I like this over that. So, it's like, everyone has to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that usually comes with this idea of a preference, or like you prefer one thing over another. Mm-hmm. And then you start collecting all those things, and then you start realizing who you are.
Yeah.
It's like a collection of ideas or like of stances, and then you just like build it until you're someone.
That's interesting.
But doesn't that come with the realization that everyone is also a fully realized person with their own complex backstory? And that sometimes you're very willing to write people off.
Yeah.
This is the introspection that hurts me, because I'm realizing that I'm a deficient person.
Deficient?
Yeah, because I know this intellectually, and yet I still want to write people off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no denying, like, the complexity of every individual, but it's like... I don't know. Not everybody is, like, as like introspective. Like
That's
some people
true.
just don't give a shit.
Just because there is
And
the
that's
potential
fine.
for complexity doesn't mean they are complex.
Yes, and like that's fine. Like you don't have to think
kind of
about
like the theory
yourself.
of evolution, right? Like we think of evolution as like building towards something, but you could like de-evolve certain traits and stuff and become simple organisms.
Yeah,
we like literally talked about this.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well,
do you feel like you've performed your gender?
Oh God, why would you ask me that? I think we've all performed gender.
I'm not asking about all of us.
Shut up.
I'm asking you.
I actually don't think I've performed gender since like high school. Because I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
First of all, it's never been that big of a thing. Like my dad and my mom have never been like, "You're a dude, you have to act like this." Maybe my mom more so. That's funny. I think the women in my family have been more like that, while my dad has just been like, "Live your life, dude."
Oh,
my dad's cool. He's really chill. That has its own host of issues, like being too chill sometimes.
Right, for sure.
But it's always come from my mom's side, and then I straight up just told my mom, like, I'm like, I don't care. So like she doesn't do that. She's more concerned about me having a job lately. That's a whole other fight that we're gonna have. We've been having. Anyways,
maybe that's just like a mom-dad dynamic, because my dad has never been like, "Oh, you need to be this way," while my mom is like,
"You need to wear dresses and have long hair and work on makeup." I don't know. But I don't know. Like I've told you this before. Like my aunt, my eldest aunt, who we no longer talk to because she's kind of a piece of shit. She's a piece of work. I remember her. I'm a very talkative person. I've always been an Englishly person. I have words to say.
Yes.
And she would always tell me like, "Oh, like a man is supposed to be silent and strong and blah blah blah." And I would just straight up tell her like, "I don't care." Just go about my life. Because I didn't. I'm like, I don't want to be a silent, strong man.
Yeah.
I have things to say. I will say them. I was a mouthy child. I was very shy too, though. So I said very quietly, but I've never cared. And it's like, it's like so liberating. It's like, why perform? What is performing gender? It's just doing a bunch of things because you feel like you have to. And like my personality at its core is like, I am never doing anything because I don't want to do. Like, I only do things I want to do. And, like, that's why I didn't submit homework for pre-calc for a whole year. And I still passed the C+. And, like, my mom would be like, "Why don't you just do it?" I'm like, I can't. I, like, physically cannot force myself to fucking just do this shit. Because I hate it. My soul hates it. And if my soul rejects it, I'm over it. And that's that on that. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever performed. I think maybe, like, 9th grade, 10th grade, I was like, "Oh, like, I'm getting older, I have to be a man or something." But they were always fleeting thoughts, and then I would just live my life. So, but I was like loud and obnoxious, and some people might even say flamboyant because like I was being loud and obnoxious.
Right.
I don't know. It's just interesting. And then in college, I just like haven't cared.
It's very interesting.
I just live.
Yeah.
I don't ever like think like I have to. You know, I'll joke with you sometimes. I'll be like, "I can't put makeup on because I'm a man."
Right.
But then like when I go in for an interview or something, I'll put BB cream on and I'll go.
Sure.
So it's like I'm like lying. I'm straight up just lying.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So like, what do you, for you, like what does being like a man mean?
Honestly, like nothing. I just feel like I'm in a flesh sleeve. And like it's like containing who I am. I like just I move my like body robot. Yeah. And I'm just like and then going about my life.
That's so interesting.
I don't know. I don't think about gender really. Like I don't think I'd ever wear like a dress or anything because to a certain extent I'm like, oh, like I shouldn't. So I guess that might be performing gender. Yeah. But if I could wear a dress and not be harassed for it, I think I would. Because I'm like, I like the chilliness. You know, like there's a lot of wind going through. That's nice. It's refreshing. I'm like,
they can be comfortable.
This is like the embodiment of spring or autumn until the winds really pick up. But like, it's stuff like that. And that's more of a me being like I'm not going to place myself in an area where I'm going to be attacked constantly. For sure. And it's more of like, it's less of like like gender like a trap and I have
Yeah.
to conform to it. I've never felt compelled to do stuff like that. I don't know. I think that explains a lot about why I'm also like, I'm just gonna be my authentic self.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like I just feel no need to like cater to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're my friends. Then I'm like, I'm never going to. Well, that's not true. Sometimes I will push them or do things that I'm like, you know what, like this is better for you. But at the end of the day, I care much more about what my friends think about me than some random person I'm meeting at a card shop.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's why in the card shop, I can just say whatever the fuck I want. Because I'm like, I don't really care if you think I'm weird and like you don't want to hang out. I'm like, I am weird. If you don't want to hang out, I don't want to hang out with you. But then with my friends...
There's so many philosophies that I just want to grab from you and, like, digest it.
It's so weird. My brain works weird. But, like, with my friends, I wouldn't just say what I want to say. Because, like, I still feel like I should say it, but then I'm going to soften it or I'm going to change the angle or something. Because to a random person, I would just say it. And they'd be like, dude, you're a dick. I'm like, well, you're a fucking piece of shit. So you should, you know, like, yeah. But then to my friend, I'd be like, hey, that maybe wasn't the best thing to do in your interest because I'm concerned about you. Yeah. You know, like, you go at it a different angle. And that might be more political or, like, fake. But I also think I'm still achieving my authenticity. But also, like, it's the difference between being, like, harsh truth versus, like, saying that what needs to be said, right? There's this fine line, and I think that's the line. Because I'll tell someone, I'm like, hey, that was like not a cool thing, you know, like when you're a good friend of mine and you're going after someone who has a girlfriend, and I'm telling you, hey, that's a fucked up thing to do, and they're like, why are you forcing your morals on me? And I'm like, that's not my morals, that's everyone's morals. I'm like, as a society, how many movies do you have where there's an affair going on and that's the scandal? I'm like, anyways, I didn't say any names though. I'm very proud of myself. But congrats. Yeah, like in that instance, I said something, and then she, I guess, oh, well, I just revealed it. But who am I talking to? That's a guy. Anyways, she took it upon herself to end that relationship for multiple reasons, apparently. But I do think it's funny that all came out when I was like, maybe you shouldn't, like, put your hand on his dick and he tells you no and you still do it. Like, I don't know. Is consent real, or is it just a one-way street for you because you only care about feminism intellectually and not apply it to your life? Woo!
Eugene!
I know, I just sunk the hole. I was like, bam.
Wow.
Thank you. So she wasn't being authentic. She was weaponizing feminism. Well, we really came full circle here. But anyways, going back to the actual topic. Yeah, I don't feel any need to. Do you feel a need to perform in your day-to-day life?
I mean, yes, because that's just who I am, sadly. But yeah, I don't know, like, as a woman, I feel like I've always been, like, made to know that, like, I'm a woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
Dude, Margaret
It's not something that I can just, like, let slip. Yes.
The male fantasy must live on through every aspect.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with church, growing up in church. Not that...
That's a whole
we don't
topic.
Gotta talk about that.
We're going to dive into it, though.
But there was a lot of performativity for me there in that aspect.
Oh, my God. The performativity of faith?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to deconstruct the whole church thing, but I do want to talk about that because I think that... is ultimately the reason why the two of us no longer attend church. Right? We were both, like, for background reasons to everyone listening, who you guys probably already know.
Yeah.
But we were both raised in extremely religious households. Our parents are still very religious.
Yes.
I think I'm leaning a little more spiritual than you are.
Yeah, I've kind of...
Yeah, you've kind of chucked the whole thing out the window. We're like, this is stupid.
Yes.
But... I don't know, neither of us attend church, and so why do you what aspect of the performativity at the church was, like, particularly alienating for you?
Well, I think mostly all of it. Well, for me, because I had always had, like, you know, doubts and questions, and I didn't feel like I could air them out. So I just found myself like performing all the actions, saying the right things.
You're like, amen.
Doing the right things.
Dude, so when they were like, oh, if you want to be renewed and change and you want to start over with God, please come to the front. You would like go to the front?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would do it all. I did it all.
Elise.
But like
this
deep down inside, I was just like,
you're like, I'm a farce.
What is this? Like, yeah.
Dude, that's so crazy. Okay, I can already tell. You know how I'm like always living my authentic self?
Mm-hmm.
I never went up because I would always wait because I'd be like, you know, if it's my time, God will show me. Like, I will feel it in their moment, and I would never feel it. And so I would always just sit and wait because I wanted to really actually be authentically, like, into it.
Yeah.
And I remember one time my mom was like, go up there, like,
dude,
feel it,
that happened to me so many times.
Yeah.
And, like, I was like, okay, I guess I'll just go up
I
there
would
since
never
they're
do
telling me to.
I would tell her, I'd be like, that's lying.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I do that?
I remember, like, there was a service where, like, they were filling people with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That's cult as fuck, but whatever. And there was this leader that me and my best friend Carissa, we were just kind of just standing there like, nah, like, we're not doing this today. And this lady was like, you guys need to go up there. Like, you guys gotta go do this. And we were just like, no, we're good.
Oh
and she was legitimately like upset with us. Because a bunch of the kids from our church went and did it. But we were like,
random people come up to me and be like, go up there. Like, you do it. Because I'd be sitting or something, or I'd be like not into it. And they'd be like, just do it. And I'm like, no.
Did you ever get filled with the Holy Spirit?
I do think I felt the Holy Spirit. Whatever that was, because I don't even know if it's the Holy Spirit. I did feel a lot of it when I was younger. And so I have a history of being like, oh, I know this feeling.
Yes.
And so if I wasn't feeling it, I wouldn't go up there because I'd be like, that's lying to myself, lying to God.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I do that?
Yeah.
And no one else understood. Like, they would come up to me and be like, you need to go up there. Like, you need to do the thing. And I'd be like, it's okay. And they'd be like, come on, you know? And, like, we're friends or something. I'm like, bitch, I don't know you.
Yeah.
And then they would just, like, abandon me. Like, they would try, and then they would stop because they would see that I wasn't going to do it. Yeah. And then they would just abandon me and go to someone else. And you know what? That's really fucked up. That sounds really awful, too. But they would. And I would just be left alone. And I would, like, sit in the back or something. And, like, oh my God. Now that we're diving into this, like, this is a spicy topic.
Okay, I think an important aspect for me was, like, that, like, I was performing all the time, but I wanted it so badly not to be a performance. Yes, like,
I feel
that was, like, true. I know that I was like, man, I really want to believe this, but there was always a part of me that didn't. And so that's why it was a performance.
I think this...
But I was trying so hard not for it not to be a performance, but it just was.
I think this statement is going to resonate with a lot of people, and then it's also going to, like, make some people feel attacked. I'm going to say it, though. I think a lot of people who have turned away from the church are kind of labeled... they're either vilified, as in, like, they've embraced sin. Yes. You know, like, they've turned away from God.
Yeah.
Or they just hate church, they hate who we are, and they're not going to be here. And I think what those people really fail to, like, realize and understand is that many of us who have turned away from the church, who have left the church, have always wanted to be a part of it in the beginning. Because it is a community, it is what we were raised in, and it's what our parents wanted us to do. Yeah. And so our rejection of the church and our rejection of the performativity of faith and, you know, like Kanye being like, Jesus is king. I'm like, really? Yeah. You're a millionaire / I don't know how wealthy he is, but you're a wealthy person, like, who makes all these comments about your wife, be like, apparently because you don't want her to be a slut anymore. Yeah. Despite you putting her naked on your motorcycle. Like, whatever. That is the performativity of faith. That is what we're rejecting. The fact that churches in America are weaponizing religion and faith and people who do not question it to become political advocates against, like, the LGBTQ community or like immigrants and stuff. That whole thing, minorities, like they are weaponizing faith and using it for political presence. And people who attend church and who do not question anything, who only exist to take in, whatever is being taught in these spaces, they don't seem to be able to understand that they can exist at the same time as the heathens or as the unbelievers. The presence of an LGBT community is not mutually exclusive with the Christians. One will not exterminate the other, but one wants to exterminate the other.
Yes.
Christian people always want to get rid of LGBT people. And whether that be like putting them all in a gay quarter district of town or putting them in camps and killing them, they want to exterminate them. That is their whole sole purpose. And I don't think a lot of Christian people understand that, like, your personal beliefs can be like, I'm not gay, I'm not going to get an abortion, I'm not going to do any of this, and that's fine. And that can apply to you, because then they take those beliefs and they try to force it through a government that does not only cater to Christian people, because Christian people make up 30% of this country or something. We have tons of people who are non-believers, who are followers of other faiths, who are queer and also religious, because you can be queer and religious. Those two are not mutually exclusive, despite what some people in the church practice and say. They try to make their personal beliefs into law. Yeah. And that is against the Constitution. That is against everything that America stands for. And that is you trying to perform your faith, or trying to like validate the existence of your faith. But I honestly think that just shows that you are weak in your faith. I think you are weak. I think you feel that you forcing that upon other people somehow makes you feel less empty inside. And because guess what? I don't think everyone at that church who goes up, I think a lot more of them are like us. They don't feel it, but they perform it. And they think to be a good Christian, you have to put other people down. And I don't think that is the truth. Yeah. Because that's someone who still believes in God and does not believe in the church as an institution for many reasons. I think the performativity is violent. I think it is very detrimental to many people. And I think it is not only violent towards other people, but against yourself, because it makes you stop questioning and it makes you stop wanting to be a fully realized person. You can have doubts and you can still have faith. One does not exclude the other. Yeah. There is a balance there. And I think I've had pastors say that doubt makes faith stronger, but I always think the end result of that was supposed to be that the doubts go away. But I don't think they ever will. Yeah. Because I think to have faith, you must have doubt. For sure. So that's all on that. Sorry I went on a little bit of a tangent there.
No, I think it's valid.
But I do think it is a performative. Yeah, performance.
Because, I mean, when I was a kid, like, performing, it was very much, like, believing, like, gay people are wrong. Yeah. Abortion is wrong. No. Not questioning anything about it, just knowing those concepts as wrong.
Do we think performance inherently is a bad thing? I don't think so. Because, like, we love actors. We love stage performances and stuff. There is something so alluring and enthralling about performance. And I think it is an essential art form. Yeah. And I think in some instances you should perform. When you're feeling scared about something, you can perform courage, because once you perform that action, you are brave. Because courage comes after the act and not before, right? Or if someone is saying utterly blatant, like, bigoted things or something, or is attacking your friend and you stand up for them, I think that is a performance upon your ideals. I think those are instances of performance that are fine. I don't think performance, when used in violence against who you are, should happen. Because
that's something like going like contrary to like what you actually want, what you
So I think everyone should try to be more honest with themselves. I think maybe that's what it is there's a bankruptcy not in morals but in people being their authentic selves. They feel they have to be different. Yeah. And it's funny because, like, I think maybe even like in Christianity there's the whole Bible verse where everyone talks about like God is the forge, he is the fire, he will remake you, he will whatever, you know, there's this idea of being remade into something. When I think maybe perhaps like we forget that an essential part of steelworking and stuff, of metallurgy, is the removal of impurities from it, from the metal. So maybe we're not being remade. Perhaps we are simply becoming more of ourselves over time. And I think that's a lot healthier of a take.
Definitely.
Although I know some pastors would tell me, like, you know, like, the Bible has good and bad things, and you can't just take one over the other. You know, supermarket Christian yourself.
Yes, sure I can. No, I'm just kidding.
And yeah, I tell them, yeah, I can. Because guess what? That Bible is very old.
Yeah.
And a lot of the cultural norms and stuff in that Bible are thousands of years old, and they're not the cultural social norms of now.
Not to mention translations, but...
Not to mention, yeah, exactly, translations, the majority of which were done by a bunch of old white dudes who were wealthy and educated, which is why they could translate things in the first place. I don't know, maybe there's an ulterior motive at some point. Maybe the Catholic Church / the Anglican Church used the Bible and their ability to read it as a means of enforcing class systems and other oppression styles on the people. But, you know, that's just history. It's not relevant.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard. I think it's hard, but I think we should all be authentic. Because I think violence against our true authentic selves, whatever the fuck that means, I think it makes us help. I think being our authentic selves makes us happier, makes us mentally and physically healthier.
Definitely.
And I think at the end of the day, you walk away from your life, whenever that might end.
Yeah.
For us, maybe in 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Feeling like you haven't wasted your fucking time.
Yeah.
Because you at least spent every moment
I
being
totally
yourself.
feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've wasted many, many years.
Honestly, I got that feeling too about like my time in high school and stuff, but now I don't. I actually do feel like I'm living some thing about, like, obviously like, this is kind of hypocritical because last night we were very much like, we wish our lives were different, but that's more from a career sense.
But like as people,
we've
totally
achieved
different.
a new milestone. Like, I think we've both achieved things on our to-do list. Like, we've both picked up drawing and painting more, which reminds me we should probably do that once this week. I bought a cookbook. I've been studying from it religiously. And I don't know, I think I'm cooking a lot more. I'm definitely getting a lot better at cooking. My pastas go off.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they kind of taste like restaurant pasta, which I'm so proud of.
Someone needs to wife Eugene up.
Please, and give me money. Because my payments will start soon anyways. But I think we have a podcast. We've always talked about having a podcast since sophomore year, when we were definitely in the dorms. And I think we've achieved some kind of milestone for ourselves. We should be proud of ourselves. We are proud of ourselves.
I am.
I am proud of myself. I'm confident in who I am. And
I feel bad now that I said that I performed for 4 years with you guys. I don't mean it in that way.
Oh my gosh.
I need to clarify because it's not true.
Okay, put your consciousness at rest. Let's hear it out.
I was myself, but also contained, which is not a fully yourself. Do you know what I mean? Nothing I ever said was fake
or false.
It was just a lot of concealing still.
I don't think...
Which isn't being yourself.
Yeah.
You're
I mean, I don't think I was very honest with you guys either. I think I did play a role. I was very come on, let's do this. You know? Despite also having my own reservations and stuff. And I you guys didn't really know anything about my past until we were in junior year, and then I was listen, my life is hell because of all this stuff going on. I was also hiding stuff away. So I don't think I can vilify you for that, and I'm not going to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Wow. It's almost like we have empathy and understanding of each other. It only took 4 years.
Growth.
But yeah, I mean, we were in a state of constant change at UCLA. But that's the whole point, isn't it? Like college, you're supposed to be broken and destroyed, and you know, it's like pulling your nails out of their like nail beds. It's like a slow and arduous, torturous process. So I think before we wrap this up, there is one more example of a performer person that we need to talk about. As someone who performs a lot.
Yes.
And that's
what we feel.
Yes. I think this is actually what sparked our conversation in the beginning, which is why we made a podcast episode about it. Caroline Calloways, that Instagram thought, who cultivated a life about herself as an authentic being.
Yes. Her Instagram was supposed to be like this kind of this experiment of showing her true self to the world. Discovering
her bourgeois aesthetics in an authentic way. Yeah. And then a think piece drops exposing her as a ghost, because, well, as having a ghostwriter who was a friend of hers at the time. Yeah. What do we think about that?
Whew. It's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's... living as an authentic person online seems so paradoxical. Is that the word?
Yes. Hold on. Before we move on, for those of you who don't know who Caroline Calloways is, she was an Instagram influencer who had embraced this idea of being a writer. So she would have very long captions. And she would post she was very white girl. And we don't mean this offensively.
No.
We mean this as in, like, she was very, like, East Coast bred. Like, she wanted to go to Ivy Leagues. She went to Cambridge, I believe, for, like, a year to study abroad through NYU. And she was very concerned about the way that her life was turning out and what she was presenting. And so she would go on a vacation with her friend to Italy and be like, I love it here, the culture's amazing, and then like spend 14 out of the 18 hours actually just taking photos and thinking of captions versus like really authentically living her life. Despite the appeal of her Instagram account having been that she was being authentic and living an authentic experience that she was then sharing with other people.
Yes.
So, that is Caroline Calloways. And you said something very interesting. You said there's something paradoxical about using an online medium to show how authentic you actually are.
Yes, especially one like Instagram, which is notoriously not authentic. Yes.
Isn't that was the whole rise of Finsta, right? You have your real Instagram, which is actually your fake Instagram, and then you have your fake Instagram, which is your real authentic self. That is so interesting to me. That at some point we as a generation realized that Instagram was farce and that it was shit.
We all know this and we all still use it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And then the trend happened where you just make another account where you have 10 people follow you and your fake real self, which is actually your real self.
Yes. Which arguably may not be. I don't know.
I don't know.
Everything you do is absolutely curated. So like I don't know how authentic
social media
you can
is
be.
A performance.
Yeah.
Which
and it's not like I'm not like criticizing anyone for that or like because I do it too. I'm on Instagram and I curate my posts. Like that's just what you do.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it should count as like your authentic self at all.
It's interesting because I think when I was in high school, I like really curated my Instagram and stuff. I've deleted a lot of stuff, so you won't really find a lot. But I'd always put like filters and stuff, and like I still do now, but it's never to like make it artsy or something. Like there are definitely people who like it is a passion project for them.
Oh my god, the ones with like a color scheme of like the saturation
or they do, like,
is low.
The reflective post, or they'll post 3 at a time or something, and I just don't like all their posts because it's a waste of my fucking time. And it's effort. I've just seen 3 photos that look similar because they're trying to keep an aesthetic. I'm like, listen, I like one of them, toss you a bone, but that's
toss you a bone.
Because I understand the effort they're putting into it. But I think now my Instagram is very much like my real life. Yeah.
I mean, I would say mine is as well. But there's still the layer of like I chose this.
There's a layer of
to show everyone.
Because we're still performing.
Not a bad thing, again. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying
this aspect of performance, I think, is different from what we were talking about earlier. Despite it still being performance. This is a very interesting topic. There's so much meat to this topic.
I know. I write long captions also, like, about things. And that's real to me.
Yeah, because I put my heart and soul into it.
Yes. But it's still, like...
But Caroline Calloways...
You do it with while knowing that your friends are going to see it. Like, people are going to see it.
You have a readership.
Yes.
So we are still performing in a little way. We're flexing our skills a little.
Yeah.
Wow. So, what level of performance is healthy then? Mm-hmm. Right? Because Caroline Calloways' level of performance was unhealthy. It was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
Her personal relationships degraded.
It still seems unhealthy. I don't know.
It still is unhealthy. Well, now she's like, I'm going to be real. And she's like, does anyone know where I can get Coke at this party? And I'm like, that's a level of authenticity should put you in jail.
She says she has like an Adderal addiction, like every post. Yeah. It sounds like I follow her. I don't. I see some people on Twitter like post things of her, and I'm like, she's.
When the articles dropped, and then there was the Atlantic piece on her, which is quite scathing as well. We just did a bunch of research because we were very fascinated by this girl. Yeah. Not because we were a fan or because we think she should go and die or something. No. But because we were very like, how does someone perform their life to this degree?
Yeah. So much to get a book deal. Like, they wanted to know about her life.
Deal. I'm like, bitch. And she got a $400K advance on a book deal. Most book deals do not give $400K. That is insane. That means the publisher really thought there was a lot of potential there. Yeah. And she had to pay it all back. That is crazy. Imagine getting a book deal and then dropping it. Anyways, if someone wants to give me a book deal...
I know. I'll try
my best and I'll actually have something for you.
But, I don't know. I mean, if you once you bring like a ghostwriter in, I mean, like, that's really shattering.
I mean, Michelle Obama had a ghostwriter for her autobiography.
Yeah.
But I think in that instance, it was just more used to, like, as a collaborative project.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a book about yourself. It's not like this is
exactly.
Like,
I feel like her
the way
ghostwriter
I'm expressing myself is me in the way that
the ghostwriter for Michelle Obama was very much like a consultant in a way, where Michelle Obama would be like, I want us to talk about this. How should we structure it? And the ghostwriter would probably help her out and stuff. On the other hand, Caroline Calloways would just think of aesthetics. I think that's what the article said, is like she would think about costuming, about, which is funny because it's just like your day-to-day outfit, but you're putting that much effort into it. Yeah, it is an act. And then her friend Natalie would write the post. But her name was Natalie, right?
I think so, yeah.
It was an N name.
Yeah, pretty sure it was Natalie.
So, and then I think about like Twitter and stuff. I think I'm actually like, in a way, less authentic on Twitter.
Really?
At times. Maybe more so, and then less at times. Because I think of Instagram as being like putting a filter over who I authentically am. So like I'm still who I am, and I make posts in my field of identity, my like sense of identity. But then it's like polished, you clean it up a little. It's like you remove the like dirtier aspects. You like, if you talk about darker things, you like make it palatable for people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because Instagram is always an aesthetic experience versus like, anything else. While Twitter, on the other hand, is like firing a gun off into the void and then like occasionally hearing people clap. It's fun. It's like...
It is fun.
So I just say random fucking shit sometimes.
Same.
And some people take it way too seriously.
Oh.
Well, really? The summer after high school, when I was in Korea, I was like tweeting about, oh my God. So One Direction fans. I know some of my like listeners here are One Direction fans.
I can't believe our fan bases intersect like that.
Know. You guys are great, lovely people. But One Direction fans were also extremely racist and transphobic. And very, like, LGBTQ anti. Because, like, I remember someone had found my Twitter account and they had, like, found a tweet where I was like talking shit about One Direction fans because they're like, one of them had like said that like EXO members looked gay or something. And so I had a whole thread about like different beauty standards and like how this is still masculinity, blah blah. And they just disregarded all of that. This is my old Twitter account, so it's no longer existing. And they started like attacking me with their group of One Direction fans.
Are you serious?
Yes, this happened.
I didn't know
while
that.
I was in Korea. I was like, I'm not even in America right now, and I'm being attacked by some fucking white bitch.
I did not know that.
And I had like an actual photo of myself, and they were like, "What are you, a woman? Like you tranny?" And they were using like trans slurs against me, calling me transvestite and stuff because I had an Asian face. I'm like,
dude, what?
It was intense. And I took them down so hard they started buttering me. I was quite vicious with them. But, and you know, when I dish, I dish. Yeah. So I dished out what they were giving me, except they were 11 and I was a fully realized person, and so they just lost. Also, they were probably like 14 and I was like an 18-year-old getting an English degree, so I was like cocking my gun and ready to take them out. But it was super aggressive and it was very racist. They like told me to put my rice hat on and go pick rice in the fields or something. And I was like, that's Vietnamese. Jesus. I'm not even Vietnamese. Like, I was like, there's so much wrong here. Anyways.
Wow.
I know.
The
that happened
Wendeers.
to me. And so, how do we even get on this topic? Anyways.
Twitter.
But Twitter is crazy. They just go off. And so, but in that instance, like, I can be authentically myself and there are no repercussions because it's like you're just anonymous.
That's true.
Maybe that's part of it. It's like Instagram is so tied to your identity.
Yeah, it's like this is the post that Eugene made for his account.
For my face and who I present. And so that's why we care so much more about performing, because we want people to think of ourselves as different. Well, like my my Twitter bio is like fucking crazy. My Twitter like profile photo is like a cat sipping wine. No, is it?
No, it's DW.
Oh my god, you're right. It is DW, like looking at someone with attitude and judgment, and I'm like, this is exactly how I feel. So, any thoughts?
Any thoughts? I agree with you.
That's so crazy. I've never thought about how we use social media differently like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't see it as like a true platform to be yourself in any way. I mean, I can't say it like that. I mean, like, your absolute authentic, like, it's just a reflection.
Yeah.
Maybe an edited reflection.
The funny thing is, I've realized that I like consuming media that I think is more authentic. Mm-hmm. If I get a very high sense... This is probably why I don't like campy aesthetics and like very like high energy kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I do to a certain extent. Like Mean Girls, like... Heathers, so much fun. Mm-hmm. But there's still like a grain of like self-awareness to it of the authentic. There's like always a moral you take away from those stories, right? So I'm okay with that. But for example, like stand-up comedy, I thought what was it, Nanette? Was that the one by the lesbian comedian from Australia? Oh, was it Nadine? Maybe?
I honestly don't know.
We know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Like that.
They're shouting. The audience.
I know everyone's like, it's this, and we're like, sorry, we're stupid, and we just come up with things to talk about randomly. I really loved it, and I really loved Hassan Minaj's Homecoming King, because he talks about being racially discriminated growing up, and it's comedy, but it's authentic. It is like who they are. Yeah. They show weakness, they show vulnerability, they show strength, but they also acknowledge that they've made mistakes. And like, there's so much there to unpack, and I love that. Versus like, I don't know, watching some male comedian be like, haha, like someone yelled at me because I inappropriately touched a girl. Haha, where am I now? You know?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I hate that what I said can apply to multiple comedians.
Yes.
That's even worse. Yeah. I thought of multiple names when I said that. I hate that. That's not authentic. That's them being a fucking asshole. Yes. And trying to gaslight the people who are watching their specials and stuff, and like rewriting their history. Yeah. They know they fucked up. Like, they should acknowledge it.
That's interesting, though. Like, that you... Because, I mean, I watch a lot of stand-up comedy, so, like, I don't really look for it a certain way like that. Like,
I don't...
Because I see it very much as, like, a performance, so I'm just like, okay, they're just, like, entertaining me.
And it's a cultivated performance that they're doing, but it comes across differently for me. Even when I read like nonfiction, and stuff.
I see that.
Yeah, the things I recommend, the things I'm always like, watch this. They're very like emotionally vulnerable. I like that a lot more.
Yeah.
So maybe to a certain degree, you can breathe. You can smell inauthenticity on something. And for me, that's a huge turn off. So when I talk to someone or when I feel like they're being like, like fake with me, they're just out. Like that is the first red flag for me. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Which is why I like people like Peyton. Peyton, shout out to you again. Because Peyton is never...
She's also very much like the same person who she... a lot of people don't even know who we're talking about, but like she's also like that. Yeah.
I'm like, she's a moon Sagittarius or something, because it was like all I remember, she had a lot of fire and earth signs, but she's a Taurus, right?
Yeah, she is a Taurus.
So maybe that's why.
Anyway,
but
she's also herself with everyone she meets
24/7,
which is
she might not say something or like, but she's always herself.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I really love her.
She's really cool.
I really appreciate her.
Yeah.
Peyton, if you're listening, this is my confession. We should get married. And then
you're so wonderful. You guys are not each other's types.
We're so not each other's types. But it will make some of our family members happier, and we will get tax breaks for being married. So I am willing to do this if you are. Anyways. But
and proposal.
As people like that. So I'm trying to think of an example of someone. A lot of people in USAC, in the poli-sci major at UCLA, fucking snakes, man. I would talk to them and I'd be like, I'm having a good time talking to you because like you're able to do, they're very quick with their words. Unless, half of poli-sci people are like very sharp, they're very passionate people.
Yeah.
The other half are like trust fund babies, and you can tell because they're slow. They talk and they sound stupid.
Yeah.
They're like, how did you get into this school? And then they're like, oh, like I'm in Alpha Kappa Bi or something. You're like, you're like, I see what this is. This is a generational thing. Like you're here because of your parents who are part of this, and like it all makes sense now. You're only here for the money.
Yeah.
Some of our friends from the English major would do this, but when we would talk to them, they were very performative. I'm not going to list any names. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Okay, and what about it?
Well, that's why I think ultimately we're not very close with them. Because we did have a lot of fun with them. We would have really cool, exciting conversations with them. We would want to do things with them. And then at a certain point, we realized that there was a lack of authenticity and we just drifted apart. Yeah, we sensed the performance. Right. We felt it. And we were like, and we like closed the book on that.
Like subconsciously.
Yeah, maybe even we just stopped talking.
Because it was just like, because if it was really like a kind of friendship that you wanted to pursue, like you would, I think.
If we felt like we were going
on both sides, to be honest. So like, I don't know.
I don't know if I performed that much for them.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if on both sides of the table, if anybody, if you want to see someone, like, you're going to
make the time and effort.
Yeah.
I feel bad for
that might not always be
some
true.
People because I am genuinely like interested in hanging out with them more, and then I just forget.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like those people listening to this will be like, Eugene is fake app. It's like, no, I actually meant it when I said it to you, but my fucking pea-powered brain is like, it's not capable of entertaining multiple scheduling conflicts. So I write everything down, and if I don't have the ability to just write it down, then I will forget it.
Yeah.
So to you people out there, I'm sorry. We should hang out. Please hit me up because I will forget, even though I'm the one making this episode. So. Anyways, but I think you're right. I think we were not truly our authentic selves. Maybe because we knew we were very different from them.
Yeah.
We were very in our own heads about our interests and stuff, and they didn't share any of them, which makes me really sad.
Yeah.
But not really that sad. It's like a very sad idea to entertain.
I mean, yeah, for me, as with most things, like, I can't always just blame them, because I'm like, part of that was just myself, like, not
I don't
being
think we're blaming
completely
anyone.
honest.
I think we are
yes.
we're just detailing the inauthenticity.
Yes.
We are recording the performance
mm-hmm.
of life.
Mm-hmm.
I hope well, what are we taking away from this conversation? I feel like I've learned a lot
mm-hmm.
talking to you about this.
Yeah.
I think we really dove deep into some topics that we didn't really mean to.
We did.
But you know what? It all came down to the topic of performativity. So I think we kind of killed it. Let's give ourselves a hand here. Yeah. Woo! We did that. So, any last thoughts, comments, critiques?
I mean, performativity is like just something so ingrained inside me, in my personality, and like how I interact with the outside world. So it's something like I'm actively unlearning.
That's so
all
funny.
The time. So
I wonder if we had the same level of socializing in performativity, or if that were different. Probably different. And I don't know if it's because of gender. Maybe like women. I think women are definitely taught more to be performative.
Yeah, it could be part of it.
I think men could also be. But I think part of it's like I just had a special upbringing. My parents were never keen on making me perform outside of the violin or piano.
Yeah.
Or clarinet or flute. But yeah, I think we've learned a lot here, and I hope your quest of unlearning performativity goes well. I hope it becomes easier for you, and I hope you realize that sometimes, like, maybe you will feel like you have to perform, but you have to actively be like, I'm not going to.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And do you have anything you want to say to me, your lovely co-host?
You do pretty all right.
Thanks. I try. Yeah. I think it is a practice thing. I think I've learned to be more authentic. Because I was tired. I was just like hitting rock bottom. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So, but it is a practice thing.
I mean, you said that you didn't feel like you performed at all.
Anymore.
Yeah.
But that's after 2 years of like trying to not perform at all. So I don't know. I think one benefit is that I can like proudly say is I'm proud to say that when someone gets to know me, even right from the beginning, they have some inkling of who I am and how my personality works. Yeah. I think I can very proudly say that. I don't think they'll know any details about me because me, an enigma, no one knows everything about me. I say that, but I tell you like everything, so you kind of know everything. But yeah, I think I can proudly say that, and that's I can proudly. I mean, I think there are different issues you have to tackle once you are authentically yourself, whatever the fuck that means. We're not gonna get into that right now because we're ending on a positive note. I know. So I don't want to talk it up too much or talk it down too much, but it is easy. It's easy living. Yeah. And you know what? When someone rejects you for who you are, good. Like. That means they weren't meant to be in your life anyways. True. All right. In Jesus' name, amen. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for tuning in to Close Read with Elise and Eugene. We really appreciate you listening in, especially our lovely friends who take the time out of their busy days to listen. We really love you. We really support you. I hope you are living your authentic selves or moving towards them because it's always a journey. It is never about the destination. Yes. It is about the destination, but only in the sense that we are moving towards. Yes. And I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. As Miley Cyrus once said, there's always going to be another mountain. There's always going to be another... Wait, what? Anyways. It's always got to be an uphill battle. Yes, but anyway. Like, comment, and subscribe because we are on YouTube. Unfortunately, we have to perform the YouTube culture. Yeah. We were going to put this on SoundCloud, but SoundCloud is fake and wanted us to pay money for it. Can you believe that? The audacity of a company to expect money for their services. How dare they not provide their services for free? Capitalism sucks. Yeah. But please pay us /sponsor us. We will stop cussing if it will give us money. I can't
promise.
I think we can.
That's me being
at
my
least-
authentic self.
I think we can
bitch.
also. I think I can authentically bleep us out.
Okay, you can.
Yeah. But if you guys have any topics, any things you guys want us to talk about with you, Al, I just pulled a neck muscle, Al. Please leave a comment. Like, we are very interested in what you guys think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it a dialogue and not just a conversation, right? That didn't make much
Conversation
sense.
is a dialogue.
Shut up. Bye.